Alright, this is a video about stopping power. I heard a lot of people talking about it. A lot of my friends, a lot of people on YouTube. Everyone thinks they know what they're talking about as far as, the 45 ACP has more stopping power than a 9mm. And if you take a good quick look, well, this is bigger than this one, so you got a 45 and you got a 9mm. Look how small that is. It's tiny. Look how big this is. Yeah. Bigger is always better, right? Well, guess what? There's some problems with that. That's what I'm about to talk about. Now, as far as stopping power is concerned, you have to consider a lot of considerations as far as A, who you're shooting. A person, a grizzly bear, a deer, whatever it might be you're trying to take down. 2, how good of a shot you are. I mean, yeah, a 45 is a bigger round than a 9mm, but if you can't shoot for shit, guess what? You can take a shotgun slug from a person who can't shoot very well, and a 9mm from a person who's an expert marksman. The expert marksman is probably going to win with a 9mm. So if you're not a good shot, it really doesn't matter either way. 3, which is probably the most important, if you're in a situation where you got to shoot somebody, you're probably not going to be 100% there as far as psychologically. You're going to be nervous. You're going to need, okay, do I really need to shoot this person? Or a lot of factors that go into that. And about your gun, the kind of gun you use. If you're using a gun that kind of sucks, or using a gun that doesn't have a tack light or a laser or something you're unfamiliar with, you can have a bigger round but not be very accurate. But if you got yourself a good gun where you're really accurate with a 9mm, this is going to be better for you. That's why this whole stopping power thing is pretty ridiculous if you think about it. But let's just go over it anyways. Let's start at the top here. We have shotgun rounds. This is my Federal double-aught butt, low recoil. This is what I keep mostly loaded in my shotgun. It's a pretty decent round. Has a decent sized ball. Double-aught butt is mostly recommended for home defense, and it's a low recoil. So those of you who have wives or people who aren't used to shooting guns, it's not going to be as hard on them for them. Now this is a slug. Shotgun slug is pretty devastating. Even if someone's wearing a bulletproof vest and you shoot them in the chest with a shotgun slug, chances are they're going to die because you got a shotgun power and a slug going towards someone's chest. However, the problem with shotgun slug and the problem with your regular other shotgun round is the problem with this would be the spread pattern. It's more accurate than people think it is. It's not just a scattergun. It actually goes out. Like, say, if you're from your bed to your window, or from your bed to your door, it's going to shoot pretty accurate. Now, if you're shooting long range, not so much. It's going to spread out quite a bit. For those of you who have kids or neighbors with kids, whatever, this is not going to be as accurate. This is pretty accurate for a slug. This is a rifled slug going through a smooth barrel. However, it's probably going to go through whoever you're shooting at, and it's going to go through your drywall, it's going to go through your other drywall, it's going to go through outside your house, and it's going to go maybe through your neighbor's house, which you probably don't want to have happen. So I wouldn't consider this a good home defense round, but it's pretty good as far as getting the job done. So I'd consider this more of a dependable home defense round. Here you have your rifle ammunition. This is the only rifle ammunition I have right now. I plan on getting a 308, but this is a 5.56 or Remington 223 round. And this is what you see in M16s or AR-15s. I have AR-15. It's a good round. It's more for distance, though. This is more of a distance round. If you try and use it for home defense, you might be in a bad situation, because this is probably going to also go through, just like the slug, it's going to go through a lot of the components of your house. Even if it goes through a person, it's going to keep on going. So I would not recommend this for a home defense. This is more for long range type of situations. If you don't have neighbors, who gives a shit? It'll go through lots of places in your house, but it doesn't really matter. I do have neighbors, and my neighbors have kids, so I'm not going to use this. Next, you have your handgun ammunition. These are all handgun ammunition right here. 9mm, 40, 45. And then I have the 38, which also fits in the 357, which I use it for my Smith & Wesson 357 right here. So this is the ball ammunition, full metal jacket, nothing special. This is the just a Federal 9mm Luger. This is a Federal 40, and this is a good old Toll Ammo 45. Good old cheap steel casing Toll Ammo. By the way, those of you who don't like Toll Ammo, this Toll Ammo for the 45 has got better results than the Federal 45, same as this one. So if you don't like Toll Ammo, this is cheap, effective. I've had less problems with this than I've had with Federal. Just a little FYI. Okay, you move up from that, you have your hollow points. These are just your standard hollow points. This is going to be your 9mm Winchester bonded, which, if you want the information on that, it'll be right here. This is your Winchester bonded PDX-1 9mm Luger plus P 124 grain jacketed hollow point bonded, which produces the following. So, pretty good round, nickel plated, a little pricier than what you got for your standard full metal jacket. And it's going to be a lot more effective because it is a hollow point. Now, as far as regular ball ammo and hollow point goes, I'm gonna steal a little comparison from Lima Life. And Lima Life's a girl on YouTube. She has a really nice channel, so check her out. Just Lima Life YouTube. But it's pretty much like, this would be like sticking a knife in a piece of cheese and pulling it straight out. Like sticking it straight in, pulling it straight out. You might not even recognize that the knife has been in there because the cheese seals up. And this would be like sticking a knife in a piece of cheese and twisting it. And then twisting it some more and then pulling it out. It's going to leave an open wound channel, which is what this is designed to do. If you look at the picture, that's pretty much what happens. It blossoms out and creates little sharp paths and cuts through all sorts of tissue, and it's really devastating round. And this would be the 40. This is a Winchester Ranger 40. Mr. Standard. And that's what this looks like. Winchester Ranger law enforcement ammo. This is what I keep loaded in my Glock 22 and Glock 27, which I have right here. There's my 22. And there's my 27. Next, you're going to have your Winchester bonded PDX 45. So this is going to be a 45 in a hollow point. That is right here. 130 grain jacketed hollow point bonded. This is the 38 hollow point. And its information is right here. 38 special plus P, 130 grain jacketed hollow point. So both these two rounds are going to be plus P, so that means they have a little extra power, and they're also hollow points. So comparing the flat, regular ball ammo with the hollow points, you're definitely going to get more stopping power with this than you are with this, because it's going to blossom out and cut through the wound channel and leave a big open area. Because when you shoot someone with a bullet, like these straight bullets are going to go straight through, right? This hollow point's going to go in one end and out the other. This one's going to go in one end, it's going to break apart, open up, have a little almost brass claws out there to rip through the tissue or connective tissue or veins, arteries, whatever you want to call them, and then come out the end. It's called blowback. And so those are the regular hollow points. Next, you have these two right here. And these are what I consider my primary home defense rounds. This is going to be a Federal 140 grain 9mm Hydra-Shok hollow point. As you can see there, it's got a little tip in there. It's got a big cavity inside. Now, the difference between the Hydra-Shok hollow points and regular hollow points are Hydra-Shoks are more devastating. And the way that point injures more is that the point will actually redirect. Like, say, if it's a low velocity hit, the point will ensure the expansion of the hollow point round. Now with these, if it gets caught up with denim or clothing, or if it hits at a low velocity, it's not going to expand. So it's going to be basically the same thing as your regular full metal jacket. And with this, the point drives through and goes with the body fluids and opens the round up more. In theory. Now, sometimes that point can get caught up in clothes and mess it up. Whatever the case may be, you're probably better off with a hollow point Hydra-Shok than you are with the regular hollow point. The same thing I got with the 40 hollow point Hydra-Shok. This is also Federal. So, these are all your choices of rounds. You might say these suck, or these aren't, these do this and these do that, and it really doesn't matter, because when you really boil it down and you really get down to the actual scientific knowledge of it, and there's lots of science, there's lots of ballistic testing, there's lots of people that actually go out there and they fire these rounds in ballistics gel, and they fire these rounds in labs, and it really doesn't matter when you come down to it. What really matters is what gun's more comfortable for you to use in a situation where you need to use it. Which is why I base my opinion on using this 9mm Hydra-Shok hollow point. Why is that? Well, let's go over these rounds. These rounds are for my Mossberg 590A1. My Mossberg 590A1. You know, it's a big shotgun. It doesn't have a flashlight. It doesn't have a tack light. It's not right next to my bed. And I have a roommate. I have neighbors. Not really comfortable in using a shotgun in my house. So these are out. My AR-15 has a very decent LED flashlight and an EOTech sight. 100% tactical gun. Love it. However, this round is a penetrating motherfucker. It's going to go through walls. It's going to go a lot further than I need to go. So, it's also out of the picture. This, I would consider a very close second. We'll keep that right here. Like I said, with this one, it's going to be my primary. So we'll put it right there. This is going to be a good backup for my primary. So we'll put it as a backup. This is a backup for my secondary. Good to go. 45. Well, the 45, the only gun I have as a 45 is going to be my very pretty Springfield 1911 loaded, which is a gun that I like. But it's not a gun that I have on the ready. Notice there's no tack rail or anything. This is a gun that I love shooting, but for home defense purposes, it's not going to be my go-to gun. So, that's going to be a tertiary backup. This 38 plus P hollow point, which is going to go with my Smith & Wesson. This is what I keep in a certain location where my other guns are not at. That's going to be another backup. But because of the fact that it doesn't have any lights and the sights are very, very basic, yeah, not going to be my primary gun. That and the, well, first of all, here it's clear. The trigger pull is pretty hard for the first shot, and for the second single shot, extraordinarily light. So now what I consider safe. It's a fun-ass gun to shoot, though, especially in 357, which is exactly what it is. So that goes to the fourth backup. And here is what I consider target ammo. This is Full Metal Jacket, cheap, target, cheap, target, extremely cheap, target. However, this would be considered a fourth, if extremely necessary, backup. So, why do I pick this one over this one? Well, let's bring them out. The 40 goes into my Glock 22. Glock 22 has a tack light, and it's a very decent gun. However, I modified the mag release, I've modified the recoil rod and the recoil spring, cut it down from a 17 to a 15. I've also modified the connector, the 3.5 Ghost connector. And I've modified the firing pin spring inside of here. It's a 4-pound firing pin spring. And the trigger spring inside of this is a competition trigger spring. What does that mean? Well, if you're a lawyer, that means that I specifically want to shoot somebody with this gun because I made it easier to do so. The real reason I made this gun easier to shoot, made it a lighter trigger pull, is because I want more accurate shots and I'm shooting at the range. However, this was my first primary defense gun it can't be anymore because I modified it too much. So legally, I do not want to shoot anybody with this super modified awesome gun. Nothing wrong with it. It's just the fact that lawyers would be lawyers. And they'll try and fuck you any way they can. So this is going to be pretty much a range gun. This is pretty much going to be a backup, which it is my primary backup. And it leads me to my number one choice for my home defense round, which is a 9mm Hydroshock Hollow Point, 147 grain. Because that goes to my SIG P226, which is 100% factory original, no modifications whatsoever. It has night sights, and it has a tack light and laser, which is a Streamlight TLR2S. So I get this fucker to focus for 2 seconds. Which is a very, very decent light, if you might ask. Because it has the laser and the LED light. It is extraordinarily bright. It locks bright with the laser. And I can also do a strobe. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera or not. It's a strobe feature. So this would definitely be my number one home defense gun. With all those options. And that's why I'm going to go with this. Not necessarily because it's the biggest, baddest ass round there is out there. Is 9mm. Not the best, but this is the best gun that can shoot this round. That's what you got to look at. You got to look at the round you're shooting, the type of gun you're going to shoot with. And I'm extremely accurate with this gun. This is a very accurate gun. It'll shoot in single shot, double shot, and that's why I choose it. And that should be your criteria for choosing your round of preference. Not just the type of round it is, not just what you hear from your friends. You need to take these guns to the range, find out what you can shoot the best with. I shoot pretty good with this. I shoot better with this. This has more tactical functions on it. Has a laser, has a light, has night sights. This has just a light, and it's been modified like a motherfucker. This gun, even though I'm extremely accurate with this gun, I'm probably more accurate with this than I am with the SIG. It just doesn't have a light or a laser or any of those other critical home defense things that you need. And this gun, of course, is bare bones. Ain't a whole lot to it. Doesn't have any of the lights, lasers. Pretty accurate with it, but it's also kind of unsafe, and you only got 6 rounds. So, in closing, whatever gun you're more comfortable with is the gun you should choose. Whatever gun's least modified is probably the gun you should choose. Whatever you're more comfortable with is what you need to have for your stopping power. Doesn't matter what kind of bullets you use, because guess what? If you shoot me in the face with any one of these rounds, it's going to hurt. I'm going to stop. If I shoot you with this round, you're going to stop. If I shoot you with this round, you're going to stop. A little piddly 9mm round. If I shoot you in the right spot, straight dead in the heart, you will stop. So, doesn't really matter what round you choose. It really matters how good of a shot you are and how good you are with the gun that you want to use as your primary defense weapon. That's all I have for now. For shizzle.